suck,
and that's sad.
An
AEW
AEW
wrestling podcast
of wrestling news.
Am I coming in clear? Am I coming in clear?
Why is he? He's an American kid. Why is he British?
Yeah,
I don't know. It always sounded that way to me, and he's always going to be British.
Are we coming in clear? Oh, that
Am I
wasn't
coming
very
in
good
clear?
either.
Am I coming in clear?
Oh boy.
I've been wanting to do that for 3 weeks now. Not even joking. It's
good.
been sitting that in my back pocket. Let's go. All right. So welcome everyone to YSATS, aka
AEW podcast.
You Suck and That's Sad.
Oh,
Yeah. But you really don't. Really glad you're here. We're gonna cover today Dynamite and Rampage.
a little bit of dynamite for our fan.
A little bit of Rampage after that.
I really don't think there's too much to talk about when it comes to Rampage, though.
Yeah, but
Good.
really
I mean, I have
everything.
something to rant about for the next 2 hours.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh boy, I can condense it down to 2 minutes. And this is the segment of the show. Well, first let's do introductions, because I mean, I can't introduce the name of the segment of the show if people don't even know my name, because I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? Who? Jesse. Who you?
I'm Jesse. Matt, who are you?
I'm Matt. And TK.
Hello, everybody. My name is TK.
That's
With
TK. And producer
Phil.
Phil. Oh, I ran over you, Phil. Phil, say it again.
Sorry about that.
Oh
He's
shit,
there.
he's talking.
He's behind the glass. So
We should be
can't
a
see
little
him.
worried.
Uh-huh. Hey, Phil. We love you back there. Yeah, we're gonna start the show off with a little segment we like to call Matt's Fiery Hot Take Zone. I don't even know if that'll pick up on my mic, but just in case, it's there. And my fiery hot take is Shibata. That match bored the tears out of me. I saw the internet wrestling community really liked OC Shibata, and I really like OC, and I hadn't seen Shibata, so I didn't know whether or not I gave a shat about Shibata, but it turns out I don't. I hated that match, you guys. I hated it, and in general, from what I've seen with the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys, I don't like them. I don't like the style. Every single match with the no sells, the let's stand back and forth and hit each other, but not even sell it. We're just not going to sell any of them. And then maybe at the end we'll sell one, or then maybe at the end we'll just inexplicably decide to do some kind of move we probably should have done 10 minutes ago when we started getting hit in the face. And then the sequence breaks. But I mean, that match, we saw someone no sell a finisher. And the announcers don't even really like sell it like it's a big deal. Like sometimes announcers will sell a kick out of a finisher as a big deal. This guy took an orange punch and didn't even flinch. That's just silly. I mean, anybody could do that. Literally, any bum off the street can do that. It just makes the match look stupid as hell. It just doubles down on the idea of like, hey, everybody, everything you're watching is fake as fuck. And even if you were like a strong style type of guy where the appeal is you're really smacking each other hard, obviously you're not being smacked hard, because you didn't even sell it like, ooh, I'm trying not to pretend I felt that. You just clearly the guy didn't actually hit you, and that's how you sold it. Like a guy didn't actually hit you, but we're supposed to believe he hit you. And maybe it's because I'm 100, maybe it's because I'm a Gasian, but that shit ain't for me, and you can keep it. You can keep Shibata.
It's definitely not for the American audience, the New Japan style of their hour-long matches is what they normally tell a story in, and it's 50 minutes of like incremental no sells, and the moves get harder and harder, and then they do 10 minutes of finishers, and then like near falls, and then it's over. That's almost every like crescendo of a New Japan, like that's how the path goes for the match for their long storytelling, strong style matches. But when you translate that into an American audience, the match is condensed down into 16 minutes. So they try to fit all their spots in. So it's just really fast. it moves really through, and you're like, well, why am I watching? What's going on? And then before you know it, it's a pin, and you're like, well, that's cool, but he took a finisher in the first minute and a half, and the third, and the eighth, and the ninth, and it doesn't really translate well to the American crowd and how the crowd wants to react and how the crowd is used to reacting for live shows in America.
And what they were also doing, the commentators were building up the entire time to the orange punch. And it's like, oh, he tried to do it with his arm band on.
Yes.
And then he eventually took it off and he did the orange punch, but it was like, oh, it's not enough. Like,
I feel like OC did very well in that match.
no, he did.
Yeah, but Shibata just felt like another guy from Japan who does the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the storytelling in the match. It's like Jesse said, they built it up and had something going, and then all of a sudden they just decided to do something else entirely. And then at the end, another orange punch goes from not phasing him to just killing him dead. It's like, okay, I don't get it. And then also, point of fact, and Flexo, we know you listen to the podcast. We have our internet metrics and algorithm and spy bots that tell us factually 100% that Flexo listens to this podcast. So I gotta tell you
a couple things for
real fact.
If you're going to bother to bring in Mike Tyson and advertise it to start a show, that's a good idea. You might draw some casual eyeballs. You know, someone might be like, "Oh man, I used to have Stone Cold on my wall. I ain't checked out wrestling in a minute, but I remember when he punched Shawn Michaels, so I'm gonna tune in." And then they see Shibata versus OC. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is
Who are
this?
these people?
Oh my god, I'm bigger than both these motherfuckers." As he drinks his 6 beer, he's not gonna make it through it. Like, it's a very niche thing. Like, if you do like it, I mean, God bless you, I guess. And by God bless you, I mean, but slightly higher pitched. And
it's such a niche market.
yeah, and you got Mike Tyson in there, and he was thrilled with it. He wasn't a problem. Like, he's actually a wrestling fan, apparently, and he's either good at pretending he knew who Shibata was, or he knew who Shibata was, and he's clearly an OC mark, just like Jesse and most God-fearing people. But, you know, the regular average Joe who's checking out your show for Iron Mike isn't going to see that and be like, I need to watch more of this guy that does pretend kicks and this Japanese feller who can get hit by a car and not flinch. Like, no. Bad idea, Flexo. Bad Flexo.
Yeah, we'll give Rampage the L for the week for that.
Womp womp. I didn't even finish it. I'm not going to lie.
So what happened on Dynamite yesterday, guys?
Stuff.
So many things happened. We didn't get 2 JAS segments, which was a great.
Already gives it 0.5 stars.
Bonus.
We didn't get Miro.
Well, yeah, he's not in AEW anymore.
Back to no stars.
Yeah.
We
He's
got
dead.
more Jeff Jarrett because
-5 stars.
No, I loved that promo.
Did you?
I did. He is just such. He's a heat magnet, and I mean,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but it's X-Pac heat. It's Vicky Guerrero heat.
Kinda. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely truth to that. But
it makes me want to turn my channel.
All right, you know what? It's a testament to how shitty on the mic most modern talent is, because Jarrett's still one of the best promos in the company, and what he's doing is also at least like. He's doing the unhinged bit, but he's serious. He's not like a clown heel, and almost all the heels are like goofballs or clowns. So, I mean, you'll get sick of them. I'll get sick of them. But for now, how they're using them, I'm kind of okay with it. But again, Flexo, maybe like having a faction that started as like, well, this is the Ring of Honor faction with Sanjay and everybody. Like, you got Scooby-Doo and the gang pulling off the mask, and it was TNA the whole time. TNA.
But Ring of Honor is formally banned from this podcast for the time being. So
okay.
We can't go that direction.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we got too much Ring of Honor going on.
Every time we would talk about Ring of Honor.
I discovered a 14th title that All Elite Wrestling owns just because I didn't know Ring of Honor had 3-man tags. So too many.
That's on Dark. That doesn't matter.
No, that's on Dalton Castle. It does matter. It's
well,
awesome.
that is true. Dalton Castle is Del Flamingo.
Yeah, he's
Silvano. That's a One Piece reference.
Yeah. Oh man, Don Quixote Don Flamingo is
yeah.
He's a man.
That's who I think of when I see him.
I mean, it's the Sylvant.
Savant, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it like
think that
literally
too,
is just
but
him.
it's just easier to say Doflamingo for me because I can't remember the
The
Savant. Yeah.
what else happened on Dynamite? The 8-man tag opened the show, correct? That was the opener.
Yeah, the house show
Yeah.
match
That was
was
good.
actually
I
pretty
wish
fun.
that would have been a fun
Acclaim
match
had
to see
a
in person.
the Acclaim had a great rap to come out to.
Yeah, they're knocking it out of the park.
Spoiler alert, but that match featured 4 of my top 5.
4 of them?
All four teams are in my top 5. Yeah,
Really?
so I had fun
Nice.
with that.
Nice.
I mean, it broke down to the usual silliness that's inevitable when you have an 8-man match, but they kept it to a minimum, and they made it entertaining.
The 4 quarter punches were great.
Yeah,
Like they're all 1, 2, 3. Like
the Guns
God.
having the new entrance and new music and everything is it's good.
Yeah.
is that was the same music for the Guns? It had like a new beginning.
New-ish, new to my
Yeah.
brain. I wasn't really paying attention before
It's
they
the
got it. Yeah. But now they're not the Ass Boys officially.
But
I think they're trying to get away from
go
it.
back to the Ass Boys.
I agree, but I think they're trying to get away from it.
They need to pull Danhausen's custom theme song.
That's
out
what
for
I was
them.
thinking.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Like, get Danhausen's Ass Boys theme out there
Yeah, that
and
was
let it
good.
go. Because that'd be awesome.
That was fun. The Jay Lethal Trent match. I think we talked about that a little bit before the show. I think Nick and I agreed that was like the best match of the show. Jesse, what'd you think?
I like
TK
Trent.
and I talked about it too.
We also talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Danhausen in there, Sanjay Dutt and Dutt.
Lethal's so good. I love seeing him in the ring.
Favorite wrestler in all of AEW.
Chuck Taylor?
No, the tall Indian guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
Satnam Singh?
Satnam Singh.
Satnam Singh. Yeah. Favorite wrestler.
I mean, seeing that man come out in person, I tapped Matt on the shoulder and I was like, look at his eye line. And he was like looking over the top rope, standing on the outside.
Yeah.
I was like, that man is giant.
Yeah. No, that was a great match. I enjoyed the final match, the best out of 3 falls. I was worried. I know I'm skipping ahead, but I was worried. I was worried a lot of the hits that DVD was taking.
Yeah.
To the head. I was just like, oh, I hope he's okay.
I rewound and watched that chair chuck a couple times.
Yeah.
But it looked safe. He got his hands. I mean, he has hands up.
He's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he got his hands up on it.
Also, I trust those referees in the ring with these workers. These refs aren't afraid to like stop a match, which is cool. They're not afraid to just call the doctor at ringside, even if it's the main event. They don't give a shit.
I too trust them to stop a match. I don't trust them to do anything else though. But I don't think that they're allowed to.
Well, I mean, they're not, they're really there to communicate and make sure, the wrestlers don't get hurt. So I'm glad when they do their jobs.
Well, I remember the last time Sammy threw a chair at somebody's head that kept the match going.
The rule within wrestling.
Well, no, he got DQ'd for that. That counted as the first fall. So they actually did. It was like one of the only times that they'll have a DQ that Flexo will allow a DQ is if it's a best of 3 falls match, so it doesn't end the match. Because he's so scarred from mid-90s WCW that he just will never end a match in DQ.
Didn't we have a DQ for someone's first loss? Like it was an MJF, like.
Yeah, they did that. CM Punk came out and it was the Army guy. What was his name?
Shoddy Lee.
No.
That was it Shoddy Lee Johnson?
Vicky Guerrero.
Oh.
Like a major or something. Yeah.
Ruth Martini.
No, I can't remember his name.
But
I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
the guys from the Truth Commission. Yeah.
No.
No, Don Callis was not there.
Oh, okay.
Don Callis was not present.
But,
that wasn't a bad match. I didn't really get why they were doing like why you already are going to the best 2 out of 3 falls match. And then I don't like putting it there on the show where they're like, hey, well, we got 22 minutes. This should be fine for best 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
And they didn't even sell it like we have rollover time.
Yeah, you need at least a good half hour to do that properly. Like when you go into it and it's, your clock says 42 on it and you're like, cool, 17 minutes.
Yeah.
But didn't they go over though?
Not really, no. And on my DVR, I think I had my DVR stopped with the next show. Sometimes it cuts out at the end. This one actually, yeah, it was on time, if not early.
My
I was watching it
was good,
and I thought it went over a couple minutes because I remember looking and saw it was 10 o'clock, and I'm like, wait, why is it still on?
Well, it's because you live in Indiana and
that
time
is
doesn't
true.
work. Yeah, they're bad at time.
Yeah, it is true.
Things
These
are
are all
so
facts,
different.
everyone.
It's their freedom.
Freedom
And
isn't free.
And they don't get tread on.
Mr. G, I'm curious who's number 5 on your list for our topic this week.
Whoa, we're already going there?
The first 4 were. I said I'm curious.
Wow,
Oh.
he's skipping to the end.
Like, it's
Man,
on
you
my- it's
hate
on my mind.
Dynamite.
Well,
number 5 was in the ring. The only one that wasn't in the ring was number 4. And number 4, I think, was on the show, kind of in some capacity, but they didn't wrestle in a tag match.
But we are getting Saraya.
Yeah,
That's
she's
finally
gone.
happening, which is good.
She's gonna wrestle versus Britt.
That was that was good. Both their promos were good. That was kind of like the first segment she was in, other than her debut, her entrance pop. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you're right. But I feel like we didn't need back-to-back segments. She and DMD both had segments on Rampage that went nowhere, and then they did the same thing in the ring on Wednesday.
See how much better your viewing experience is when you don't watch Rampage?
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Like not forcing anything down your throat, and you're just like, oh.
But also not shoving Saraya into 7 other matches before the pay-per-view just to get her. Now she teams with this person to face Britt and someone else, and now she does the good old cliche of what happens when you want to hold a wrestler off to the pay-per-view. I'm glad they didn't do it.
Absolutely, that's good. And they're also apparently holding the Elite back for the pay-per-view, huh?
Oh, I hope they hold them back till the 2027 pay-per-view.
They had their little weird Thanos snap promo, and this time they had it with all the full gear steampunk jiggamarwall in the back. So
the promo that basically says, "You guys needed us.
We win."
Well, I'm gonna jump back to the Britt Baker Saraya, because I did want to point out how far back it goes with Saraya showing up. We had the lumberjack or lumberjill match, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's
like we had that match, but it's been what, a month or 2?
6 weeks, yeah.
So it's been building from there. So it's a nice little build.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that they're finally doing long build with the women's division. Even though it's not for a title, it's still something that's happening.
Yeah, right. And the other 13 women's titles are, who knows what'll happen with them. So
there's only 2. 13.
Feels like more. Well, technically there's 3 because it's Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, and Jade and Nyla Rose. So there's 4 women's champions right now. And I don't think you can argue that with me. There's
Speaking of Toni Storm,
2 fucking women's champions. So
speaking of Toni Storm, though, man, talk about like not being remotely showcased as the champion. You may as well not even have put an interim belt on her the way.
Yeah, I bet you Toni. I bet you Flexo looks at that belt and goes, "I wish it was still on Britt."
Yeah.
Just for the next match that's about to happen, like.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't make Toni drop it to her on Wednesday just cause, and that's.
Well, where's Rosa? Is she ever coming back?
She's hurt. Yeah, she's just hurt.
She's
still the internet says hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the internet can say what they want to say, but
that's what I mean. Most of it says hurt, so I have no reason to believe she's not anything.
Well, I mean, there was some speculation because people are stupid that said like, well, she is disliked by some of her coworkers. So
I still
maybe there's something we haven't heard in this company that can't keep anything secret. It's like, okay.
Okay.
Still maybe not a fan of the interim title, like the interim title thing. I do not like it in professional wrestling. I think it weakens the title that already is up for grabs whenever it wants to be and can change hands every night. Like it doesn't matter what happens. It's whatever the person who booked the show wants to happen. So I don't like when there's an interim title just sitting on. It's not UFC. It's not boxing. Don't try to make it that.
Yeah, just make the guy vacate it, and then they get a title shot when they come back.
Yeah, when
I will say,
when they
though-
come back to a pop, it's always a face pop, and it's always great. So
Yeah, no
I will
point in having the
say-
interim.
AEW has done very well with the interim titles.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it hasn't been bad, but yeah, I get what saying. Just the
Yeah.
I
Like,
get
it sucks,
what
but
that N guy said earlier. I get what TK's saying. Anyways,
yeah. But like anytime they've had an interim title, they don't drop it. Like they pretty much hold it until it comes down to the actual title match.
Yeah, which is the same thing as saying, I'll just strip you of the title, give it to someone else. And when you come back, you're going to face them and you're either going to win it or you're not. And that's the same thing that happens when you have the interim, except the interim storyline is always the same because this is my belt. I'm the real champ. And then there's a winner. No matter what, that's the only story they always tell.
TK, I like your ideas, and I'm interested in subscribing to your newsletter.
Well, you can subscribe to my newsletter at Jesse.
It still keeps the title strong. .com.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get, but it's just kind of pointless.
It is pointless.
It's masturbatory.
Yeah, but it gives people something to go for.
At some point, they're going to have an interim guy like lose it, so that the audience isn't just trained to be like, well,
Oh, they're never gonna lose this title, so which I think
Yeah.
is gonna happen at Full Gear.
but it's not an interim.
Well-
Oh, you're talking about with Hater?
Yep.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It depends on Rosa. If Rosa's going to be out a long time, then I could see it happening. Otherwise, they're holding back Storm and Rosa.
Yeah, and the fact that we have no time frame, like
I went away from my mic.
Tony Conflexo doesn't like to update anybody, like media or sports world, on what is happening, and it actually makes people less interested when they say, "What's up with your wrestler Thunder Rosa?" and he says, "I don't have an opinion or I don't have a comment. She's just injured." Like then they lose interest and they don't want to cover your sport anymore.
And the young cucks are gone right now, so they're not giving everything to our Dave to let him know what's going on in the background. Don't worry,
That's true.
we'll get more news in the following weeks.
Maybe.
We'll get more. We'll get more. We'll always get more. Whatever. I mean, Jericho's still there.
Yeah,
But he kind of like dishes his own passive aggressive shit in his own ways. He doesn't need Dave Meltzer as his mouthpiece.
he's got a podcast.
He just thinks like, well, I could give it to Meltzer, but if I gave it to him, I wouldn't have anything to go out there and talk about. Yeah.
Like, why spoil that? Nah.
All right, Katie. Any other thoughts about Dynamite?
MJF's promo was amazing. Mox had a good promo. I got to see Danhausen.
Wait, is this forward or backwards for you?
That
It's
is forward, KT.
I was gonna say because it's written backwards for me, so it should show up correct.
It looks like runes. Now you have +1/+1 in haste.
Even though it's I couldn't think of it. NES games when the coding is bad. When you give a character haste, but it doesn't actually give you haste.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, that's all those old 16-bit RPGs too.
Yeah.
Our beloved Final Fantasy VI is a mess.
It's beautiful.
It's
Full,
a beautiful,
Full Gear shaping up to be a good show. Would you guys say? Would we say Full Gear shaping up to be a good show?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I'm excited.
I mean, the MJF Mox thing, to piggyback off what Jesse said, both of those guys cut really good promos. MJF's was amazing, and Mox's was
we got 9 matches
really
total,
good too.
So.
It'll be good. AEW doesn't really put on bad pay-per-views,
They're just way too long.
except for Forbidden Door.
Really, you think they're long? I don't think they're long at all.
Yeah, I don't think they're too long.
They usually hit between 3 and 4 hour mark. I mean, All Out usually is a tiny bit longer, but that's because that's the default Mania for them, even though everybody says it's not. It's always their stacked card.
And in a world with 2-day manias, anything that you can watch in one day is not too long.
I will say I just listen too much of other people online where they're like, "Oh, it's 5 hours long. There's too many matches." But then WWE has a pay-per-view every month,
I mean, I want my
and
money's
they're
worth.
3 hours long.
If I pay for this pay-per-view, I want hours worth of it. So I'm gonna get what I
Yeah.
paid for.
You know what? Just internet wrestling fans and commentators. Like, again, back to Matt's Hot Take Corner. They're all
Ooh.
terrible and dumb. And I think it's because they do it on the internet. That's why we record on cassette tape before having someone else that is not affiliated with us, not even Phil, our producer, someone else digitizes it and uploads it. So we're
I
not
mean,
one of
we
those
would do
internet
8
jackasses.
tracks.
We're analog jackasses.
Yeah, we do have to
Yeah.
switch over to the B side soon.
Oh, well, I think we have to obligatorily dip it in quality then, because the B side's not supposed to be as good as the A side.
Ooh, ouch.
I'm all about the C side. Like,
Ooh, yeah.
let's go. Let's go deep.
All right. Anything else on Don? Oh my! What else happened? That about covers it. Oh yeah, I wanted to comment on old Anthony Bowens, and he was already really good, but he seems to be getting better. And his strikes in that 8-way match, he had a couple sequences where just with his fists and the way he moves his body and follows one up with the other, it looked really good and crisp. And man, Bowens and Caster, God bless them. Not just sports
A
entertainers.
few years from now, can't wait to see what they're doing.
Yeah, those boys can work.
So glad to see Bowens healthy.
Heck yeah.
He was hurt. He's like gotten hurt 2 or 3 times in the past year and a half. And to see him healthy and out there,
Yeah,
it's great.
he was the one that was in the wheelchair for a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though part of it was gimmick, but yeah, it
No,
was real at first.
for the most part, like he was hurt.
Yeah.
And
to think,
that
two
sucked.
2 years ago at All Out, they were on the parking lot pre-show rap battle.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's all they did was that.
Yeah, they
And
were rough.
We saw the Ass Boys with Billy Gunn in the dunk tank.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
they didn't have that this year. They had like something slightly different.
the one last thing I want to note: Archer killing Ricky Starks.
Lance Archer?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Fast forwarded that, so I don't know.
Didn't need it, but it happened. That was the thing.
That was sad.
It didn't really
Yeah.
make sense to me.
Ricky Starks
'Cause-
isn't on TV for like nearly
Maybe
a
Flexo's
month.
done with him. You know, sometimes you gotta cut your talent, and Flexo's shown that he is not afraid to just let talent disappear, sitting catering, and then 6 months later they're done. That happens
But
all the time.
Starks had, didn't he have
Yeah.
a promo last week?
He's done it with a
No,
bunch of people.
I don't
so
think
far.
Starks has had a promo, but nobody
Starks
at the
and- or was it
nobody
Hobbs
at
that
the
had a
it was
promo?
Hobbs.
Okay.
Hobbs has gotten to do stuff. He hasn't done that to anybody at the talent level of Starks. And the last time he was in the ring, he won his feud with Hobbs to conclude that. And in
honestly,
addition, like
I
a
feel
guy
like they
that
did
just
it-
brought Colt Cabana out to wrestle on national TV, if he's done with Ricky Starks, then Flexo truly is
He's got one.
retarded.
He's an internet mark who listens to Kenny Omega in the Bucks.
But Ricky Starks
Jericho.
isn't hated online from what
By
I've seen.
anybody.
Who hates Ricky Starks?
Nobody
No,
hates
I
Ricky
didn't say
Starks.
hate. I just said listen. He listens to them.
But
And
who's
if they don't like
asking?
him,
I don't. But I'm so I'm
Like,
saying.
why would they
who's
not want
saying?
Ricky Starks?
I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
I mean, unless his plan is for Starks to.
Or it's just easy to bury a face
I don't
because
know.
sometimes faces can come back really easily. So
Yeah, I
Starks
didn't.
is
I
in the
didn't
middle
like it either.
too, though. I don't know. We got a minute left, guys. We can keep bitching about this in about 68 seconds.
Or we
Or
could end the Dynamite chat with that and say, now it's time to talk about tag teams, favorite tag teams, lovable tag teams that we want to squeeze.
It's time for the main topic.
And we'll come back to the Ricky Starks next week.
I hope we do. I don't know if Ricky Starks is coming back next.
If he's still alive,
he's
I don't know,
joining
because
Miro,
everybody
guys.
dies.
He's joining Miro.
He listened to last week's podcast where I said that you could beat him up. And he was like, oh my God, I guess it's true. Oh, I gotta get rid of him.
He got scared.
He's joining the Marco stunt.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Marco.
Enough talk. And now it's time for the main event.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Today, we're going to talk about our top 5 all-time AEW tag teams.
I like us doing all-time lists for AEW because it's only like 3+ years. It's really fun to do.
Okay, but in those 3 years, we've been through a global pandemic, the most significant land war in Europe in 80 years, consequential elections across the globe. I mean, so many things have happened in these last 3 years. Some experts, some people are saying it's because of AEW. So, 3 years, you can laugh at it all you want, but a lot can happen in 3 years. A lot.
That makes sense. It is all AEW's fault.
Everything. We blame Flexo for everything. Everything. It is scientific fact that every bad thing in the world is Flexo's fault, except for the things that aren't. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Everything
that's happened is because of Flex.
You stub your toe to stop and think, was this my fault? Or was this Flexo's fault?
Thanks, Flexo.
Well, I think TK should start.
Yeah.
Number 5.
With my number
5.
Oof. Well, the top of my list is pretty stacked. But number 5, I'm going to go with the first AEW Tag Team Champions in SoCal Uncensored.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Because them boys,
Nice.
Listen, they've been around the block, and they were day one signees. And giving them the belts right away, most people didn't like, but I did, because then they went on to have banger after banger after banger for the next year's worth of pay-per-views until they dropped them to the Bucks. But yeah, Frankie Kazarian, great. He's been around forever and helps backstage now. And so does, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky. Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels. There we go.
I said Brian Christopher.
I only wanted to call him.
Oh, shit.
So all his TNA characters.
Yeah.
No, both of I wasn't a fan at first of the SoCal gimmick, and it was just sunglasses and the first kind of vignettes they did. But yeah, they grew on me, and those boys can bang in the ring. So very good. And they bottom my list. The number 6 that's on there was pretty close, but these guys bottom my list at number 5.
Who is number 6? Who's the honorable mention?
Oh, if I need to use them, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Just a reminder, everyone out there, this list is disingenuous and edited for entertainment purposes. So,
but TK's list is perfect.
God damn it!
Every time.
Mr. G, who do you got at number 5? Or who's your number
5? No, you got to wait for that, Cookie.
Oh, okay.
Because my number 5 is Swerve in Our Glory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're not. At first, I didn't think I was going to like them at all. They've gotten better together. They've kept it interesting. I like Swerve Strickland a lot. I think he's really good. He's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Phenomenal.
And Keith Lee is unique, he's
uniquely.
Yeah, he's not always the best, because sometimes if you're gonna be a big man and try to do the stuff he does, sometimes it's not gonna work or not gonna be as smooth as good. It rarely doesn't work. He's not like Mr. Botch. Like, it's never embarrassing with him, but sometimes it's not as smooth as you'd like to see. But he also does things nobody that looks like him can do. It's a fun team. it's a fun team, and it surprised me how well it's worked, in my opinion.
Are they mostly on your team list because they're great as singles, or because you really do like them as a team?
No, it's the team thing. It's the whole team
Nice.
thing. I even like the idea of a guy who's more heelish and a guy who is going to be more of a face. That's always fun. Kind of like Sting Luger vibes in WCW
It's
here
rockin'
and there.
South.
Yeah, kind of like that. But now I'm just imagining Keith Lee doing the Mankind gimmick, and I want that now.
Mandible Claw with some Mr. Sacco. Yeah, Keith Lee with Mr. Sacco would be great.
I would like you to have a nice day.
Except
I am a man. A man. I want it.
He's
Give
a
it to me.
man.
Oh boy. Jessica, what's your number 5?
Top Flight.
Nice. I almost picked them. Fun.
I loved the Martins. It sucks that the older brother keeps getting hurt.
Have they had more than 5 tag team matches? Because he's
They
always
did.
hurt.
They did, like the first year.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
tail end
know.
of the first year. Yeah.
Yeah. He just keeps getting hurt, and that sucks.
Yeah, feel bad for him.
But maybe one day they'll be healthy and be together again. It's okay. He's with Seidel.
Up in
He's not
heaven.
really with Seidel anymore.
Seidel, the universal tag team partner.
Yeah. But Top Flight, yes, this is my number 5.
Number 5, Top Flight. Pour one out for Darius Martin. He'll be back.
Oh, poor guy.
TK number 4.
Oh, we're at number 4 already. Well, my number 4, 2 of my favorite wrestlers. We're gonna go with the Lucha Bros coming in at number 4 as a tag team. I do like one of them more than the other one, which is why they're number 4, even though they're both phenomenal.
Nice.
I want them to be higher, but I have reasons for having the other teams higher. So we've touched on Penta and Phoenix before, but even as a tag team, they are always in the save the day match, or the long match, or the cage match, or the crowd is going to get the hottest match, or the we just need to blow the roof off this place match. And they excel every time, and I love them. I love watching them every time they're on the screen. Even their entrance hypes me up.
Like their cage match that they had against the Bucks when they actually won the titles.
That was great.
That was amazing. Their entrance was flamboyant and awesome.
Flamboyantly perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, that was great. I love the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, they are.
They may be on my list.
Oh, really?
They may be on there.
Mr. G, did they sneak on your list? And if not, what's at your number 4?
It's really funny you guys would both have the Lucha Brothers, because I mean they're my number 4, so yeah, that makes this pretty easy. Everything that TK said, none of the shit said. Fuck that guy. But they are a lot of fun, and I mean
That's gonna sound so great.
They're about as good as you're gonna get with the lucha style, at least from what I've seen. I don't watch like AAA on the regular or anything, but I think they like capture that style perfectly.
I do. That's what I'm
you know, like you're always gonna get a really entertaining match. And they've also shown they can do different flavors of it. They've shown they can go with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, you can get a 20-minute Bucks match, or you can get a one-on-one Ray Phoenix versus whoever, and you're like, I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah,
like, they're just so versatile.
Super talented guys, know what they're doing. Love them. All right, Jesse,
number 4, the Best Friends.
I thought they'd be higher on your list. Not gonna lie,
they were.
Is it because you're is it Chuck and Trent?
It's just Chuck and Trent.
That's why they're numbered that. Okay.
Like I think I actually like Trent more than Chuck.
I mean, you're not alone. I like Trent a lot better than Chuck.
I really do. I've always liked him because he's so passive aggressive when he does his promos. Like he's angry, but he's not angry.
Yeah, that's why there's a question mark
right.
at the end.
It's like he's aggressively
passive.
Like,
yeah.
I think that's what makes the best
I'm
friends.
I'm gonna be
overall.
angry, but I'm also gonna contradict my anger. And I love that with Trent.
Yeah.
And I love Chucky T. And I love that they're with my favorite OC.
And Trent's mom.
And Trent's mom. And
the aliens.
Danhausen now. And as their lawyer.
And the Statlander whenever she comes back.
Oh, hopefully back healthy. Beats Jade. Wins the TBS title.
Well, Nyla Rose has the TBS title.
Plus, like Chuck and OC, no matter what they do, and no matter how they characterize themselves, they're always going to look as much as, if not more likely to like beat you in Magic the Gathering than they are in a wrestling ring. Whereas Trent can also be that, but also pull off the I'm going to sodomize you in prison look. So Trent can do both of those things, you know?
Like, when he came back from being sick, like after he had that surgery, he looked skinny as fuck. But then he just got back in the gym.
Yeah. His mom was a badass then too.
Sue?
In her van.
Sue's van. She wants to come back maybe one day. Maybe one day. But yeah,
well,
that is my number
that Judy
4.
Bagwell's passed away and her soul has moved into his mom's body. I think she's game.
That's how that works in wrestling, right?
Real life, but I mean, wrestling exists in the real world, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen to wrestlers too.
That is my number 4.
Number 4.
I guess that means I got to talk about the Ass Boys because they are my number 3.
Nice.
Number 3.
I think people sleep on these kids. I think that it's hard to believe they're as green as they are. And hard to believe that they were kind of like kept in developmental during AEW's first year. I trust that they were there for a reason, given that they had a lot of green people up on TV by necessity already.
Yeah.
But they learned a lot and they're learning quick because they got it all. Like they got the personality. They understand how the interacting with the crowd and feeding off of what's going on in the moment. They both sell like veterans. And you can just tell they know how to lay out a match and what to do. They know how to wrestle a real tag team match. Like actively, you see where they're positioning. You see everything they're doing is trying to sell the concept of the fact that they are in a tag team match. And a lot of teams that have been tagging for a million years, like some guys from Cucamonga, California, still either don't understand that or don't give a shit about it. And these kids already do. I think that they're super talented and the sky's the limit. Ass Boys, numero 3.
My number 3 is Chuck and Trent. So
you don't have anything to say about the Ass Boys?
I don't have I thought he was done with his
I was, yeah, no, you guys can talk about the.
Oh no, I'd like to actually
because he jumped me. You know, I was always going after Jesse, and then he went. But my number 3 was Chuck and Trent, so it doesn't. I already said my pieces anyway for my number 3. So we're actually on Jesse's number 3. No, the Ass Boys are great, and the fact that they have Billy Gunn as their father, who is still having matches at 79,000 years old and still looks like he's an Adonis, and I want him. Like it's amazing.
No,
so
we're
someone great to train from. Yeah,
we don't worry about who says what when it comes to the numbers, as long as we don't skip from 3 to 2 until everyone else has said who their number 3.
I still get that order messed up, guys.
Okay.
Like I'm really sorry. Our friend used to podcast with us, but he was murdered.
That guy was
live during our recording, and ever since he's been gone, we haven't settled on a new order, so I get confused sometimes. So I'm sorry, you guys, for messing all that up. I'm sorry.
There's no order messed up there. I'm confused now.
Hey,
But
Jesse,
anyways,
It was TK's turn, and I went.
it's okay. My turn was Chuck and Trent, and everything Mr. Jesse said for his was good for
your
mine.
number 3?
Huh?
Your number 3 was the Best Friends.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matt's number 3 was the Boys of Ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was wanting to talk about the Ass Boys a little bit.
Let's talk.
Yeah,
ass.
we're on the
Talking
number
ass.
3. I was
Yeah.
Yep. You got
I've
your
been
finger on
loving
it.
everything they're doing. When they're on Dark, they're taking the piss. And that's not even an English or American word. Phrase.
That was funny and not on purpose.
Yeah. But they literally are just fucking around with FTR. And I cannot wait for that feud to get going. Like more.
Yeah.
and I'm really excited for it.
The match those guys already had a few months back was phenomenal. Like,
Oh,
low
yeah.
key for a nothing match, about as good as it can get.
Hopefully the booking doesn't some way shit the bed and he ends up booking the wrong top 4 teams against each other, because there's 4 tag titles on those top 2 teams. And,
Well, FTR has 3 titles right now, and I would actually enjoy the Ass Boys taking the ROH titles away from FTR.
It'd be pretty funny if the 8 men that were in this 8-man the other night each had one of those belts, and it was winner takes all 4 belts in like a big 8-man match.
That would have been good, but it's too late to do that now.
That's months ago where FTR needs to drop like
Vince Russo is still alive. That can still happen.
Kid Flexo.
All right, listen, bro. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have a match. We're gonna unify titles from different companies. Did you talk to the other company? I don't need to talk. Nobody wants to hear me talk, bro.
We got this, bro.
Never mind, I'm in the match.
TK.
We're gonna put each tag title on a rope or on a pole in each corner.
We're gonna put it on Trent's mom.
And whoever gets to the first
interim
belt,
TBS title on Trent's mom,
they get that belt, and then they're out of the match.
And then Jarrett comes up. He's like, "Y'all forgetting something?" And he pulls out the old TNA title.
App nuts.
Y'all can't say I interfere with the Impact, because this ain't Impact, boy. This is TNA.
TNA. It's in the game.
Yeah. All right. That's a preview for the fantasy booking segment we're throwing in here later.
We're eventually gonna get to at some point.
That'll be a whole show.
Number 2, TK.
I didn't do my number 3.
3, Jesse.
Jesse, I thought you did your number 3.
No.
This is chaos. This is a madhouse.
My number 3 was FTR.
Podcast. Oh, okay. Number 3, FTR.
FTR. I keep thinking back when they fight the Briscoes. I know it's not AEW matches, but when they FTR versus the Briscoes, like, give me that.
They were phenomenal. That was phenomenal.
And even when they had the match with Punk, when Punk's leg was broken, they're still on point. I was not happy when they first won the belt in AEW. No, because I really wanted the Best Friends to have it before them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we touched on that before. Every time that title changes hands, I wish it was the Best Friends.
Yeah.
As an OG tag team, day one.
They're just so good. They are. It's a must-see every time they do a match.
They're on my list, too.
And they do it well, where they don't have them fighting every week, which is something we've talked about before, too.
Yeah, where you actually end up missing them after not seeing them for like 10 days. It's like, where's FTR been? And then their music hits, and you're just like, fuck yeah!
Yeah, let's see them again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. FTR is my number 3.
Nice, good shit. Are we on to number 2s? Are we into our top 2s now?
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. Well, my number 2. Listen. Hey, yo, listen. It's the Acclaimed at number 2.
Oh, you have to do a rap. If you pick the Acclaimed, you have to do a rap.
You can't just call it out and not rap.
I don't rap. Roses are red. You suck in that set.
Ooh, okay, that counts.
So Acclaimed is great, and I don't even think I have to say any more punctuation but that, because when they come out, they talk on the mic for a minute and they're great, and then they get in the ring for 15 minutes and they're great, and then they get out and they're still great, and then they make us sing chants in the crowd and it's great, and everything about them is great. And these boys have done so much for themselves in their careers in the last 3 years that I can't wait to see where they are in 5 or 6 years from now and how good they are with other people, especially because tag team wrestling is actually kind of important in this company. Not that it's not in other companies, but it's not in other companies. And this company at least tried to do it so much that they actually overfilled and, had 18 tag teams at one point when you can only showcase 6 to 8, every cycle. So yeah, I'm really glad that these guys are now on the top as opposed to not, on the pre-show dunk tank at the beginning of All Out 2 years ago. Mr. G, who's your number 2?
Hey, Listen.
Listen.
Yeah. I tell you what, they also are my number 2. I echo your sentiments. They did kind of start off cringe, like Caster's early raps. They weren't natural. They weren't the best.
Yeah, they were hit or miss and just miss.
And like we're scarred from a lot of other rap gimmicks. Like I think Cena's rapping like literally pushed me away from wrestling when I tried to get back into it for a spell.
For life.
I think that was like back in 2005, and he was firmly in a rap gimmick, and like he was the guy, and people were going crazy for him, and it was just like, well, these are no longer my people. I had to run away. And he was kind of bad at wrestling then too. He's gotten a lot better. Like, and Peacemaker like makes it even more just like, oh, Cena, now I can enjoy you. Do that, a lot of that. But yeah, the Acclaimed, they are really good. They're really fun, and I already touched on the individual guys earlier, so I got really nothing much to say, I guess, other than a rap. Oh yeah. All right. TK didn't have a rap. You know who did? Nick, but he's taking a dirt nap. Don't bleep that shit because you'll interrupt the flow. Then none of these motherfuckers will know how this shit goes. Gotta say one more. Where's my beat? Motherfucker, you best keep fast on your feet because I ain't done spitting. I ain't done saying anything. You're gonna listen to the words that I'm laying, huh? Come on, wrestling shit. Blah, 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 blah. When's this motherfucker quitting? I don't know, but I think it's Jesse's turn to go with number 2, son. So give me something to learn.
The Lucha
Fresh.
Bros.
Lucha Bros. We talked about them a lot.
I say it so sad and slow, like the Lucha Bros are my
What? Well, why? What else do you have to say that we
Yeah,
haven't said about them
great.
already?
Oh, I know. They're great. Love them. Loved when they won the tag titles. They fucking deserved it.
Do you prefer bigger brother or younger brother?
Ray all day, every day.
Nice.
Which we've already talked about. But hey, I'm actually impressed with our top 5s at this point because we were thinking we would just do a top 3.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's been a little different for it.
Tiny bit. Our lists are kind of the same. I think me and Mr. G have the same number 1.
Yeah.
Probably.
And we had the same number 2 and the same number 4, and yeah, we're pretty close on this one.
And some of those are interchangeable. I think 1 and 2 could be interchangeable for me, and 3 and 4 can be a little wishy-washy. But
yeah, the order is...
Listen. So it's time for the number 1.
Jesse, why don't you do your number 1 first, Jesse?
Yeah, then you have to do your rap. We'll do your rap.
Listen.
If I throw cringe, you gotta throw cringe.
My number 1 is gonna be the Acclaimed. I don't know how to rap, so this is gonna be lame.
You did, and
that's all I got.
That counts as a rap, yeah. So that is a rhyme. Remember, rap battles are just grown ass men singing fucking poetry at each other.
Yeah, I can't think of words correctly together. That's weird.
Yeah, not unless you type them first.
Yeah, but the Acclaimed, hilariously insane. They try to be lame, but they're not really lame, and they're just kind of fun to watch on Wednesday, which is kind of insane.
And Fridays and Mondays.
No.
Insane rhymes with membrane.
Yeah. Those are 2 words that do go together.
Also brain.
But yeah, the Acclaim.
Hey.
1.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, and then
TK. I tried. I didn't try.
Drum roll, please. The number 1.
We'll do a countdown. We'll do a simultaneous number 1. Okay.
5.
Okay. This is taking a long time. F
G. No, I actually have Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page. No, I don't. Audience disclaimer: I do not have
Hangman Kenny Omega.
Really?
No, it's FTR.
Oh,
FTR.
It's
FTR?
FTR.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would legit put Kenny Omega and Hangman on my list at number 6, and Hangman gets 0 of that credit. Kenny is that fucking good.
It's all Kenny.
But that I don't want to give Hangman any credit because I want him to go away. So number 1 is FTR for me and you, and that it's just fuck the Revolution. It's perfect. I just wish they had one more set of tag titles.
And I wish the booking was, a little more consistent. Like, it is good that they don't wrestle every week, but they don't wrestle traditional tag matches like at all anymore on TV. They've been coming out weekly to either just like say, hey, we exist, to get that big pop, and they will come out to just like save random face teams. Like for a while, they were helping Warjo, and the Pinnacle was back. We even had Sean Spears for a second. Like his ghost appeared in Canada, and then they didn't let him in America or something because he's just gone again. So like they just come out, like they were with Darby and Sting for a minute. They just like come out to aid and leech pops.
It's just
from
like
people.
the Lucha Bros. It's like people like them, put them together.
But it is notable also during that 8-man tag, the Acclaim's pop was bigger than FTR's. FTR's had been for a long time just the biggest pop in the tag division by a mile, and the Acclaimed, I mean, they got the bigger pop.
Ever since the Scissor Me Daddy chant, it's been the wave has been Acclaimed.
Yeah, all Acclaimed. But I mean, FTR is the best. Jesse already covered most of it, so
yeah, no, agree. I mean,
yeah, they were my number 3.
Yep.
But we are all different. We all have our own opinions, and that's why it's fun.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Number 3, like they're one of your favorites. So that's not a wrong choice.
Anybody have an honorable mention? An honorable mention they want to talk about?
My honorable mention was Top Flight, and they were talked about. Yeah.
Jesse, do you have one that we didn't talk about?
Private Party.
It's funny. My Top Flight comment when I first saw Top Flight was like, well, I guess we don't need Private Party no more.
Yeah. And like when Matt said that to me, I was thinking like, yeah, but I always liked Private Party.
Yeah, they're cool.
I really liked them when they first came out, and I've always been a fan, but I really wish they would have done more with the Hardy Private Party, or Private Party Hardy, or whatever.
Jeff Hardy also
it was already a stable of 43 people at that point.
Yeah. Like it turned into something more than it should have. But
that was Flexo seeing everybody in catering and be like, hey, that guy's with Matt Hardy now.
I mean, when Private Party beat the Young Bucks during that tag tournament for the championship belt.
Yep.
And I watched them
all downhill from there for him.
Yeah. And then you look at the records, and the Bucks still have the most reigns of tag titles at the longest time held for some reason, because they're EPTs, and that's what happens.
But I watched them. I like Private Party. I'll still be a fan as long as they're around. But
have they been on the 2 main shows lately?
No.
I've seen them quite a while.
They do backstage stuff.
You're right. Yeah.
Jesse, that was the most Southern you've ever sounded.
Why?
When you said, I like Private Party.
Well, he is from the Southern Yucatan Peninsula, so.
Well, he didn't sound Hispanic. He doesn't speak Spanish.
He raps it though.
You are lying, but he's not actually from the Yucatan Peninsula. You joker, you joker.
I've been everywhere.
Where are you from? Is that a Patreon feature, or can you tell these people where you're from?
I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, and you sound like a Southerner now. It's disconcerting.
Yeah.
I had a good number 6, and it was Proud and Powerful.
Okay, yeah, PP.
Them boys, I wish they would have separated from Jericho's, I forget the name of his
Inner Circle.
Inner Circle, because there we go.
I
wish they would have separated quickly from that, because they actually could have been good faces, but they were always stuck as heel number 4 and number 5 in a stable of 5. Mm-hmm. So they never amounted to anything. If an important tag match needed to happen with the Inner Circle, it included Jericho and usually Sammy or the big dude. So
yeah, Sammy got the rub spot. Hager gets the Ed Leslie spot, and those guys just got the afterthought spot.
And now one of them's gone, and the other one's still there, and kind of teaming with Eddie, kind of not. But they were good for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santana's gone,
Yeah, one of them is
pretty
gone from the
much.
company.
But their match with the best friends, that
Parking lot shenanigan whiz fest thing.
that was great.
That was a Meltzer 5-star match.
I think it was
Of course
6.
it was.
Oh, it probably was 6 because it's like, wow, did you see the cars?
Were the Bucks in it? That's automatically 4 stars.
Did you see Sue showed up at the end?
6 stars.
6 stars. Ooh, yeah.
Oh God. Oh man. Used to be exciting when like that guy would give a match 4 stars. That's so far, we're so far removed from that.
Yeah, if I see his stars, I just minus 1.5 stars, and then I'm like, oh, that's what it should be.
Okay.
I had no idea who that dude was till like post pandemic.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
understandable.
Yeah, I mean he's been around for a long time.
I mean, he is good at his job. He is a good journalist, but he also just sucks a mean elite dick profusely, and it gets annoying at some point when you look at all his matches that he's ever rated, which is a lot of matches, and there's probably there's so many 5, 6, or 6.5 star matches out of 1 to 5 stars in the last 10 years, and it's fucking ridiculous. Makes it so the scale's not even real.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people have done the comps like, hey, the Bret Hart, HBK, Flair, so many guys combined have as many 5-star or more matches as the Young Bucks by
Right.
themselves.
We have
It's like,
94. Like it's
okay.
the numbers are crazy.
It's funny.
Even more when it gets to New Japan. So
I guess from here, do we want to close or do we want a fantasy book real quick?
fantasy book. Okay, Mr. G, are you ready to get 2 names thrown at you from myself and Mr. Jesse? 2 names that we haven't seen on TV in a while. I don't know who they're going to be. I'm thinking about it right now while I'm stalling, and I hope Jesse's doing the same. Because I'm going to throw a name at you, and what you're going to do is book them. And then next week, you're going to keep booking their feud as long as we don't see them on TV.
So I'm booking a feud for them.
Their feud is over.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to pick, all right, someone we haven't seen in a while. You know, can I just say Miro? We actually haven't seen Miro in forever.
Yeah, sure. Miro's dead, so I can bring him back from the dead.
Miro versus somebody from Jesse, and there's your feud. We're gonna keep booking, and who knows how long it'll go until one of them shows up on TV.
Christopher Daniels.
Ooh.
Oh, Christopher Daniels. Okay.
So we'll give this man a second to think. Jesse.
No, I don't need a second to think.
Oh, even better.
All right. So Christopher Daniels, he's an old man. He's been doing this shit forever. He is 100. He's going to start talking to Schiavone because like he famously, they had that angle where he was considering retirement. And since then he's come back. He's actually got in the ring again. And we're going to say he had a health scare. He didn't want to talk about it, but he had a health scare and he actually died. He was dead for 20 seconds or whatever. They brought him back and he got the okay from doctors. And now he's so far removed from it, he's comfortable talking about it. Miro is going to find out, and he's been looking for God forever. And he's going to think, this man is dead. He can tell me about God. So he's already a weirdo. He is going to just try to ask, Daniels about it. And Daniels is going to be like, get the hell out of here, you freak. Like, go away. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's going to make Miro angry. And that is what's going to start our feud. Miro, in his relentless pursuit of God, is going to want info from Christopher Daniels, who we just found out had a near-death experience.
I feel like that's a backstage segment in catering, and Christopher Daniels was just like making puppets, and he bumped into Miro.
Making puppets?
Sure.
He's making puppets.
Doing something, and Miro bumped into him.
I think it's got to be a locker room. It's got to be a locker room, and Christopher Daniels is maybe smoking a pipe. He's doing some kind of really old man thing, putting lotion. Maybe he's hanging out with Billy Gunn, just some of the other old guys.
They're oiling each other up. Yeah. Mark Henry's there, Big Show's
taking their Geritol and doing all the other old guy stuff that they need to do. And like the locker room will even say like senior locker room.
It's got guardrails everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I need you to know. Tell me about the afterlife, Brian Christopher. Do it, come on. He has to lay in. He's got to go for Arnold Schwarzenegger as well.
Christopher Daniels, right? Because you just
Yes.
said Brian Christopher.
Well, if he could talk to Brian Christopher, they'd be even better to talk to him.
That'd be a miracle.
Eventually we will do that, since they already hired the ghost of Rick Bogner, who's portraying the ghost of Scott Hall. They can have a thing where eventually Miro will get like a Ouija board. He'll start trying to connect with other dead people, and you get extended with, well, that's for later weeks. But yeah, it's going to be a whole thing. Miro is going to he's going to evolve into a 19th century spiritualist by the end of this thing, and he's going to be doing whatever he can to define God. He's going to follow. He's going to put in the footwork like a good
On
detective.
the next Dynamite.
Mm-hmm. It's better than not using him.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. If they did that, I'd be happy, because
Yeah.
you know what? It'd be using him.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, since we've already had several promos where he was walking around a white background and like being upside down and stuff, as stupid as I get, nothing will be stupider than what we've ever seen. So we're good.
I have a really good feeling, but not really like, oh, this is gonna happen. But I think Miro's coming back with how they're slowly building Kip Sabian.
Maybe.
And
This pay-per-view cycle's done for the next 2 weeks, though, so it'll be after that.
and Penelope Ford.
Penelope?
They might
say
bring
it?
back
My brain can't say that any other way.
Lana and Miro versus Kip, and
That'd actually be really good. CJ and Miro versus, that'd be good.
No, if they bring Miro back and put him into a mixed tag program, I'm gonna cry.
Well,
I don't think they're
he
gonna
would
do
turn
a
on
mixed
his wife.
tag.
But he would turn on his wife.
No,
Turn on his wife because she can't wrestle, and then he sent her to God.
They got to bring in. They got to bring in Bobby Lashley, and do that.
Don't threaten
again.
me with a good time.
Yeah, maybe they can have.
Well, Bobby Lashley's heel again,
cuck him,
as I called it, but that's one of the 3 things I called correctly.
Can we talk about Crown Jewel for a minute? That was great.
We could talk about it being terrible.
That was great.
Not content wise, but business wise and decision wise.
That was great.
Not great.
I bet we're gonna get Logan Paul versus John Cena at WrestleMania.
Cool.
Maybe.
I hope not.
My take on that is, I was
care.
seeing comparisons, people ragging Punk because Punk fucked up on a couple of buckshot lariats and being like, well, just say Logan Paul can do it. It's like, well, you know what? Yeah, anybody whose knee doesn't buckle can do it. I'm fat and out of shape, and I could do, that's the easy part.
Right.
Doing the moves is the easy part in wrestling. Doing the moves is the easy stuff. It's like everything in between that that makes you a pro.
Falling after each
really
move
good
is the hard stuff.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Taking
Like
those
Punk's leg was broken when he tried to do it.
Was that when he got hurt? Yeah, it was when he got hurt. That was that title match.
Yeah, he was already hurt before he tried to do it.
When he came out, he jumped in the crowd and got hurt.
Yeah. But when he tried to do that move, like, he was already hurt.
Yeah.
And people are saying like, oh, Logan Paul can do it, but Punk can't.
Yeah.
Well, people suck.
That's
silly. Trash.
They suck, and that's sad.
They do suck, and that is sad.
You suck, and that is sad.
And we suck too. Thanks for listening to us anyways. We are noobs. We are bras. Wrestling bras. AEW bras.
But we do love wrestling, and we got 30 seconds left. Mr. G, what's our topic for next week for the listeners?
Our topic next week: 5 reasonable trades with other wrestling companies you would make if you could. We can't do like Fuego del Sol for
research for
AJ Styles. Like, no, you gotta do reasonable, like mid-carder for same position kind of rank.
We'll see who sucks, and that's sad.
We will see. But thank you all for listening, liking, subscribing. We're assuming you did that like a good fan.
Thanks for getting to the end.